What's up, my Fina loves? It's Miss Fina D coming to you all from Fina Team and News. Now, look, all jokes aside, we know Tamar can sing, okay? And every singer, they have their moments, they have their bad days, they have their bad performance. So we're not going to sit here and clown Tamar for having an off day. So Tamar responded, "No, I didn't have an off day. Play all the way home. I was dancing right before that and couldn't catch my breath. I'm not gonna let y'all play with me like that." Laughing face emojis, and you had comments like, "I love me some Tamar, but she sounds like she needs an oxygen tank." Dispute. I paid for Tamar. Now, you know what? Now, Tamar, I'm gonna need you to have a conversation with your people before you leave comments, because in their efforts to defend you, the story are just not matching or adding up. You wrote, "No, I didn't have an off day. Play all the way home. I was dancing right before that and couldn't catch my breath." Well, that's not what Makeup by, is saying, okay? She wrote, "Y'all caught Tamar on the day her voice was completely strained due to allergies, and she tried to push through anyway for her fans." That's what any dedicated artist would do. One thing about it, two things for sure, y'all know this woman can sing. One off day doesn't summarize an entire career. Tamar just said she didn't have an off day. It's because she was dancing and couldn't catch her breath. Now, your people are saying, no, you did have an off day due to allergies. So which one is it? Regardless of who you believe, we all know that Tamar Braxton can sing. And she just simply had a moment. You have people leaving comments like, "Well then, girl, stop dancing. Just go on there, do your show, sing your songs, and leave." Yeah, so crazy. Oh, yeah, here's a clip of some of the dances Tamar be doing. Hey, okay, drop it. Tamar said after she did her little 1-2 step, she had to catch her breath, and that's why she sounded like that. And like I said, we are aware that Tamar Braxton can sing. But one thing about social media, they will always remind you. So this person wrote, "Not the universe swinging back at Tamar Braxton for calling Candy Bird's Billy Goat verse last year. And now she went to a festival with vocals winded and fried to the mic." And this person is referring to these tweets. "Now, Billy Goat is going to start mentioning back up again, calling me a liar. Someone needs to call her and tell her to chill." Imagine having the biggest ego for the most non-singing bleep person in the entire music industry. Then, of course, she went ahead and used this moment to promote her music. Now, let's move on to another Braxton. Now, remember last night when I posted that video on Towanda, I said that, hey, there's more comments to read and more things to talk about, but it's getting really late and I really want to post this video tonight. So I will come back tomorrow and post it exactly. Because the Tamar content was so short, I figured, why do two separate videos when, they're both in the same family? Just squeeze Towanda video in there and just make it shorter. So we're going to do that here. Now, one of the top issues that people had in the last Instagram live that Towanda did was she made a comment about her sister passing away. And you know what? Let me insert that clip to remind you all.
Trina was talking to Tony. Tony was talking about how maybe possibly we should talk to Kevin's dad and for saying no. Another part of it is that you guys have to understand that you're going to see, in the later part of this episode, that absolutely, Trina was absolutely right. Traci absolutely didn't want these things. She absolutely and was very firm about not wanting a funeral. She said it several times that she did not want a funeral. She did not want a viewing. She did not want any sorts. She actually put it in her will. And I understand that Tony is, trying to play kumbaya by saying that we don't know what happened in their marriage. But no, we don't know. But what we do know is that Traci was adamant about what she wanted. She was adamant about what she did not want. And she was so firm on that she put it in her will. Period. Just saying. So, yeah. It doesn't matter. If a person's wishes are their wishes, then that's what it should be. That's it. That's it.
That's it and that's all.
That's it and that's all.
Amen.
That's it and that's all. That's it. Ain't nobody cut him off. If y'all only knew all the stuff that we know, just know that.
That's funny. Y'all cut him off. That's funny.
No, but that was Traci's husband. That wasn't our husband. That was Traci's husband. That was Traci's choice and Traci's husband. We weren't laying with that man. She was. That was her husband. Her husband. Not ours. We have a relationship with our nephew. He is grown. Behind big as mine. Grown. Got his own family. Got his own son. He damn near 30 years old. He's grown. We don't need an extra person to have a relationship with our nephew. Period. He grown. I can understand if he was 5 years old, then of course we would have to have a relationship with Traci's husband. But we don't have to have a relationship with him. Kevin's grown.
And he's old enough to make choices for who he feels comfortable talking to and not talking to.
Exactly.
So if he wasn't fooling with you or fooling with y'all or whatever, he wouldn't. He don't have to.
He don't have to.
He don't have to.
It's his choice. I mean, there's a lot of times. That's like, say, for instance, mommy's sister passed away, right? And she was married. My mother's sister was married. That was our uncle, but he was our uncle through marriage. You think we're going to get on the phone and call him?
Nope.
So there's levels. In the case of death, absolutely. You pick up the phone, you call, you see how they're doing, you check in every once in a while. That's different. In the case of a divorce or something terrible happened, all of that, and your auntie is no longer with that person, then of course, okay, we have no more connection to the family, except maybe the kids and whatever, and we're moving on because our family member no longer mess with this person, so next. So in that aspect, I get it. Because there are times where you break up with someone or something happened and a divorce happened and it's like, okay, there's no reason to keep in touch with that side of the family. My family is done with them. That's different. But when there's a death in the family, and especially if that person, that happened, all of you were family, that person was nice and all of that, absolutely you pick up the phone and you call and you say hi and check up on them. So it all depends. So in this case, they're talking about someone dying, then absolutely. Even though your auntie is no longer here, you do pick up the phone every now and again and check on her husband and see how he's, and all of that. You're not obligated, but just morally and you being a good person, absolutely. It takes nothing to pick up the phone and check on that person and see how they're doing. So that's the difference. Now, in this case, with their sister Traci husband, I completely understand. They already had friction in the family, from way back, the stories that Towanda explained on the last Instagram Live. I have linked it in the description below for those of you who missed it. And then Traci wishes being, I do not want a funeral. I do not want the public to view my body. I do not want this. I do not want that. Leaving her son in charge. And then her husband going against her wishes and having a funeral and all of that. I can understand why the sisters are upset and his son was upset and all of that. But on that Instagram Live that I posted, Lil Kevin Jr., as they call him, did say that he and his father are good and are in a much better place. So I'm happy to hear that. So I understand in that aspect, if there's anger there and all of that, I get it why they might want to distance themselves. But if that's no issue and nothing like that, and someone just passed away, then absolutely you pick up the phone and you say what's up, even though you're not obligated to do so. So this person wrote, I understand you guys are fulfilling Tracy's wishes. I'm all for that. I even understand you guys putting some distance between yourselves and the husband because he's moving funny. What I don't understand nor do I agree with is you saying you don't reach out to your uncle. Was he moving funny too? Why wouldn't you want to see about the person who loved your aunt and that your aunt loved? Would you want your family to do Sean that way? I'm only asking because I want to understand. Towanda responded, yep, it's always a reason. And this is where you all go wrong. No one is saying come on Instagram and tell your family business. Absolutely not. But if you're going to use a story as an example, then at least throw in there that you know what, and there's also a reason why we are not reaching out, which I'm not going to disclose. So at least then people won't drag you for days, even though it's not cool and fair for people to just be disgusting on her page. But there will be no room for assumptions or people interpreting things their own way. And that's the reason why I said in my response, especially if this uncle did absolutely nothing to you all in the family was cool. And then I made the example that, but if there was issues, I understand. Because the way how it was explained, all you said was, do you think we're going to call him after that? No. Your fiance responded, and you moved on. You didn't say, you know what, and by the way, there's some conflict there too, but I'm not going to talk about it. And that's why people made the assumption. Another comment. If you grew up having a relationship with your aunt, mom, sister, and uncle, if you checked up on them when your aunt was alive, why wouldn't you still check on your uncle after your aunt died? Towanda responded, but I didn't. Now, how is the audience supposed to know that? Y'all complain about the editing, and because of the editing, we're getting backlash and all of that. Then when you're on Instagram Live and you have the chance to be clear, you're still confusing people. Why would you choose to explain a story about not contacting your uncle after your aunt passed away, but in nowhere did you add context that you didn't have communication with them when your auntie was alive? That would have been a key factor and probably would have then prevented some of the just so unpleasant comments and backlash that you are receiving. At least say, without putting more of my family business out there, because, this one is personal, my mom and all of that. For example, we have an uncle and an aunt, and we barely talk to them as far as the children. My mom was still in contact, of course, but as far as us, we barely talk to them due to things that I would not be discussing. But because we barely had that relationship and communication, once my auntie passed away, that was it. Then at least people will understand, okay, there's something that happened there, and that's why Towanda, of course, she's being private to not talk about it. But that was a great analogy and example. But to explain it the way that you did, and now you have to come back and make corrections and respond to the backlash, is one of the many reasons why this is going on the show. If you explain it correctly the first time, or you just don't say nothing at all, then it removes all of the extra questions and concerns and things that's going on. But anyways, regardless, I'm wishing the entire family healing. May Tracy's soul rest in peace. But before I end it, I do have to go back to the Tamar situation real quick. You had comments like, I blame that white man. Tamar ain't got no business thinking like this. Another comment, JR still her voice. He's getting straight. I blame JR. She sounds horrible. This is JR's fault. I just know it is. The words, the moves, the clothes are all giving JR fault. Free my good sis from those chains. What is wrong with y'all? And go ahead and read the rest of the comments. And for those of you who are not aware, JR is Tamar fiance slash husband slash one moment she's single, the next moment she's married. Tamar been all over the place as it relates to this relationship, so I don't know anymore, but that's who JR is. Anyways, I'm wishing all of you well and take care. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.